channel. Today I bring you September's wrap-up. And it feels so weird to be doing the wrap-up already because I just recorded August wrap-up, but that's on me. And anyway, it's the second Saturday of October already, so yep, it was time to do this wrap-up. And I said wrap-up so many times. Anyway, this was a weird month of reading for me because I felt that I didn't read almost nothing because I had a little bit of a book hangover, which I'm gonna get on later, but I also was so busy that I had almost no time to read. So I literally felt that I didn't read at all this month, and I ended up reading 8 books. So I don't know how that happened. Actually, I do know how that happened because most of those are comics, which were the only thing I had the time, the energy, and that I could stomach reading through September. But yeah, let's get started because there is some books that I really want to talk about. Yeah. So I started the month reading 9 from the 9 Worlds by Rick Riordan, which is a companion book for the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard's trilogy. I always want to say series, but it's a trilogy for the Magnus Chase and Gods of Asgard trilogy. And I wanted to read this book for a long time and I just hadn't gotten to it. I don't know why. I read the main trilogy a long time ago and it took me a long time to get here, but I did. And here we are, finally read it. I enjoyed it. It's a fun, silly, nice little thing. Basically just tries to introduce you and remind you about the 9 realms that, you know, Norse mythology believes in. And each tiny story has a different protagonist from the trilogy, and they are somehow connected, which I thought was really fun. But yeah, basically it's just a bunch of stories just to get to know, and why not, and they are very funny. I gave it 3.5 stars because it was funny, but it's nothing out of this world and it's just really nice. It was nice to get back into this world, honestly. Then I read Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth, the first book in the Chosen Ones duology. I think it's a duology anyway. This was the shining jewel of this month for me because I completely love it with all my heart. I heard first about this book at the beginning of the year, you know, in one of those YouTube videos that tells you all the releases, or at least some of the releases that are coming the next year and all of that. And I found it there. I loved the idea of the book and immediately went and pre-ordered it. And then COVID happened right at the point that the book was being released, so it was a long time before my copy arrived, and I wanted to read it physical and have it in my hands while I was reading it, so I just kept putting it off and not reading it in an ebook or something. So it took me a very long time to get to read it, but it finally arrived at the end of August, and it was the first thing I picked up. Almost the first thing I picked up on September. It was just as good as I thought it was gonna be. So basically the idea, as the title suggests, has a lot to do with the Chosen One. But you know, we all know what a Chosen One is and how they fight, and we have seen many Chosen Ones in different series and places, which is all fun, but this one has the added little detail that it doesn't happen while all the action, I guess, it's happening, but after the Chosen Ones have defeated their Dark One, which I thought was the most amazing idea ever. And it is an adult book, which I also thought was the best because it was not gonna skim around anything of the topics or anything it was gonna talk about. And I just wanted this very emotional book, which I think it delivered beautifully into that little area and that regard. I was in love even before I picked it up. And the thing is, the book deals with a lot of emotional things, but it is also a book that makes you think a lot. It deals with philosophical, sociological things, and even a little bit of quantum physics. Not a lot, but a little bit of it, which I just fell in love with because it was so much more than anything I expected from the book. But the sociological and the psychological areas are very, very important important for it, which I just love because I love a book that can make me think and that just isn't very over the surface. It's nothing bad in a book, but I prefer when they go very deep, and it does go so deep, and I fell in love. It has these little experts through the book, the secret little experts, or just from magazines or journals, or or the papers. And it's just a little wealth of information that you need to pay a lot of attention to because they are very, very important, and I just love just diving into them. I thought it was so fun to read and to see all these little parts that make the story so beautiful to me. And it's just such a fun book. We have 5 protagonists. 5 protagonists: Matt, Easter, Ines, Albert or Albie, and Swan, which is my favorite. I love Swan with all my heart. She's one of my new favorite female characters. She's just so unapologetic, and she just does her thing, and I think that's so important in a girl, that she just goes and does her thing, and I just love that so much. And I think it's just such a beautiful take in the whole chosen one's trope, and it makes you think a lot about it as well. And it's very different than what I thought it was gonna be, which was perfect because it's more than what I thought it was gonna be, which was just what I needed. And I fell in love immediately after reading the book. I really, really recommend, if you love something that makes you think, this is definitely the book for you. I gave it 5 stars, and it's definitely going into one of my favorite books of all time and of this year. Then I read Vader Down by Jason Aaron, the 2.5 volume in the Star Wars comic series that I've been reading, and it's just, Star Wars. The whole idea is that in one practice flight run, whatever it is, that the rebels had in a planet, not their base, a planet that was not their base, Vader appears and they shut him down, and now they're trying to capture him because, he's down in the planet without a way to get him out of it. That's basically the idea, and we know how that ends because movies and everything. But it was just really fun to see. Vader's definitely the most dramatic character ever, basically, and I love seeing his lines that were just so good, and the art's very pretty as well. So I just really enjoyed it, and it was fun. I gave it 3.5 stars. I continued reading Star Wars because why not? As I say, comics were my life bread this month because I had barely time to do anything else, and I read the Star Wars issues 4 and 5 of the Star Wars Darth Vader comics that have been coming out this year. And issue 4 was really fun. We get more into Naboo, and we see, I don't know what to say, but Vader is just looking for answers about Luke and how he's alive and what happened with Padme. So he goes to Naboo for that in this issue, and it was really fun, emotional, and I really found it nice, I guess. Also, I do think that you need to have read, or well, not need to, but that you will understand it a lot better if you have read Queen's Shadow before you come to these comics, just because they have some information that it's relevant, I guess. I give it 3.75 stars. I enjoyed it a lot. And then we have issue 5, which is again just continuing with everything, but it's very close to the ending. I think there is one more issue after this one, and I was not expecting that ending, and just makes so much sense that I enjoy that it makes so much sense, and that's all I'm gonna say about that one. I gave it 3.5 stars. Then I read Faithless by Donny Cates, the volume 2 in the Guardians of the Galaxy comics that I've been obsessing over since I discovered them a few months back, and I can't say a lot about what this one it's about because it's really a lot to do with the last volume, the first volume, but you know, they are recovering from everything that happened there, and they're just at peace, all the guardians, until they receive a distress signal that will be a little more complicated than they thought. And in order to defeat what's happening in the moment, they will have to seek the alliance of an individual they didn't thought that they would need to go to, which I just love. It centers a lot on Rocket, which I love because now I'm in love with Ranger Rocket, Rocket Raccoon, whatever you want to call him. I think he's such a great character. He has a lot of nuances, and he's not a straight playing character. He has so many layers. And I just love the sassy bastards. Let me be honest, I just love the sassy bastards. Again, one of the things I love the most about these comics is that they have so much emotional nuances for a superheroes comic, but it's just much more than just a superhero comic, which I love so much. That's just what I love. I love the emotional turmoil in my readings, and I gave it 4.5 stars. It was so good. And then I read Guardians of the Galaxy issue 5 of volume 3 that it's coming out. So yes, it's a jump in. The idea of this whole arc, I guess, is that the Greek gods have been reborn, and they want to conquer the galaxy and remake it at their image and at their ideals and how they want it. So they are dealing with all of that, but it has a lot more little things going on with it. I love some of the things that this issue is dealing with. It's very cute, just the whole identity and who you are and what your actions define you as much as what you live through, which I think are all very beautiful messages. And I love what they deal with it in the very short amount of time that they had to deal with it. So props for that. I gave it 5 stars and was so good. And then to end the month, I read Crown a Traitor by Kate Callahan. Pretty sure that's how it's pronounced, sorry if it is not. It's the first book in a hellish fairy tale trilogy, series, duology. I don't really know what it's gonna be. I think probably a duology, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that one. And this is a review copy that I got from NetGalley, which was really fun, and the only reason why I knew this book existed, because I have honestly not heard about it, but it looked very dark, which, you know, I'm all for the dark books, so I definitely jumped at the idea of reading it, and I enjoyed it, but it was not what I was expecting, I guess. The idea is that we have Clara Lucifer. She is the daughter of Lucifer and the heiress for Hell and the land of Malon, which is kind of like an in-between place where all the bad, dark, dangerous creatures are, but it's not as bad as Hell because no demons are in there. So it's just kind of like a limbo, I guess, in my mind. She has grown in Malon, far away from her father, under the tutelage, and she is the ward of 3 very wicked queens that are the queens of Malon. And this land is just as cruel and as dangerous as you would expect from such a place, but not quite as bad as Hell, you know? And she has some special powers that let her reveal anyone's secrets, and if they are hiding something, she just needs to touch them and she will be able to tell if they are lying, or if they have some spell that conceals them or something like that. She reveals all of that with a touch, which it's pretty fun, except that she also cannot have any secrets, and everything in her is also an open book and anyone can know what it is. And you know, she has grown in this very dark, cruel place, but it's not who she is, you know. She wants not the responsibility that will come with being the heiress and then suddenly the queen of Hell and Malon, but she just wants to live a life that she decides to live. So she is running to Kalos, the land of the light and beautiful creatures of the Fae as well, and it's supposed to be the contrast and the contrary to Malon. So yeah, she's running there to escape her fate, except, you know, she's the heiress, so nobody will let her go that easily. Yeah, there are a lot of secrets going on around, as you would expect when you have a character that can literally discover secrets, and it has a lot of little and very intriguing ideas about it. I like that it's not like thinking about it every 3 seconds, but something that it's more like under the skin, and it gets to simmer there and just think about it, I guess, and you just deal with it a little bit later. I really enjoyed that side of things, but was also so slow. It's a slow book. It's short because it is really short, but it takes an awful amount of time to get to the good part, or where just the story gets going, I guess. And at the beginning, I thought all of the first, basically half of the book will be just erased and nothing will be lost. I do see the point in things being revealed and dealt as they are, but I do think it could have been done a lot faster than all the time it took to be done with that part. I almost DNF'd it because it was so slow at the beginning, but I powered through a little, mostly because I read like little parts every few days, and I just didn't realize I was already halfway through it when it started getting better. I also thought that the book could have been a lot darker. It mentions being really cruel, but you never really see it, so for me it's just like, okay, just say this, but see, I don't believe you. I don't know, that's just me. I gave it 3.5 stars because it was intriguing enough, but you know, it was too slow. I'm just gonna keep saying that. I'm sorry. Yeah, those are the books I read in September, and it was a nice month because, you know, I had a book hangover, which means I read a very, very good book, and I love Chosen Ones. I'm sorry, I need to still gush about it a little bit. That was my September month in reading. I have fun, and I hope you can find something that you like in this video, and let me know down below if you have read any of these books and what you have thought about them if you have. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Click the little bell icon so you can get notified every time I post a new video, and like the video too if you liked it. And yeah, I also have social media. You can follow me on Goodreads, where I'm super active, or on Instagram, where I'm very active as well, but a little less. But yeah, and I'll see you next week. Bye!